All right. Thanks for coming to join us on this live video tonight. We got Leann Law. Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
All right. So luckily, I got her on the podcast because she's going to be a speaker with me at America the Beautiful. And so as I was looking into all the speakers, I saw that she had a lot of cool stuff going on, and so I wanted to bring her on. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you so much for having me on, Jake. So what I do, I'm a permanent makeup artist. I've been in the business for about 10 years now, and I own Fuzion Artistry. I'm a co-owner with my sister, and we specialize in permanent makeup services, so brows, lips, liner, and we also educate in the industry as well. So we do a lot of classes and we teach advanced artists as well as beginners the art of permanent makeup.
Nice. And you're in Huntington Beach, right?
Yes, I'm in Huntington Beach, California. Sunny Huntington Beach.
I've never been to California.
We're spoiled here.
Yeah. So being in the business 10 years or in the industry 10 years, how have you seen it change throughout the years?
Oh my gosh, it has changed significantly. When I started out, there weren't that many people doing permanent makeup. So it was a little bit easier getting into the industry.
Right.
Now it's a little bit more saturated, but I feel like the most important thing is just really, loving what you do and just day by day, just improving and getting better. Because if you focus on what you do and you're passionate about it and you do great work, I feel like even though the industry is saturated, you can still be an extremely busy artist. But it has changed a lot. I think it's amazing. It's great that there's all these different tools out there now as far as ways for us to learn and grow. There's a lot more education out there, which is great for the industry. Of course, there's always pros and cons to the industry growing really fast. But overall, I think it's extremely exciting. And I think it's awesome that we get to be a part of this amazing industry. It has definitely changed my life. So I'm extremely passionate about the industry and I love everything about it.
Awesome. And it's interesting that you bring up that market being saturated because, in California, there's a lot of people. However, I always tell people, like, a lot of times I see artists fighting over the same clientele, whereas if you just educate people a little bit more, there's still a ton of people that don't even know that much about permanent makeup. And so I think there still is a huge market for it.
Absolutely. There's so many people out there that need our services. And I don't even think, even though the market is somewhat saturated, I don't even think there's enough artists out there to service all the demand that is out there. So again, I think it's just focusing on being an amazing artist and really caring about your clients and putting their needs first. And if you can do that, I don't think you have to ever worry about the market being too saturated or even about the competition. I always feel like, I don't really think about competition. I feel like even my other permanent makeup artists, even down the street from me, I think it's important to get to know them. And, collaboration over competition is always my thing. So yeah. I don't really ever think that competition could be good too, So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. So how do you find, I guess, since this is a marketing podcast, how do you find you get your most clients right now?
So right now, most of my clients actually come from Instagram. I would say that Instagram, one, it's a free platform. So if you're not on it, you absolutely need to get on it. It's a free platform. It's available for us to share what we do. And our business is very visual. So if we can just make sure we're on there, showing up every day and posting every day, sharing with our clients what we do, I think that's the best way as of right now to grow your business. Utilize the free platforms. It's worked amazing for me. To be honest, when I first started out doing permanent makeup, I was kind of against getting on social media. Most of my clients were coming from just word of mouth advertising, which is amazing as well. So if you just continue to focus on doing great work, your clients will spread the word for you. But once I got on Instagram, that was when my business blew up. And that's when I started getting booked out months and months at a time. And I think it's really important that you're utilizing these free platforms to grow your business.
Now, do you do a lot of, because one thing I noticed is like my Instagram posts, especially with the new just saturation of the Instagram market and just social media in general, my Instagram posts tend to get like less views, but it seems like I'm getting more views than ever on my stories. Do you use stories?
Yes, absolutely. So with Instagram, I feel that, they want you to be on there as much as you can, right? So if you can utilize all the different, stories and even on your timeline, you want to make sure you're posting on your profile, you're posting on your stories, you're utilizing IGTV, and also the tools that they give you for engagement. If you aren't using it already, I think one of the important tools that Instagram gives you is the polls. So if you go to your Instagram stories and you can do the polls, you can do a lot of the engagement tools that they give you. I think the last 6 on there on the stories is what you want to use. When Instagram launches a new feature, it's so important that you're going in and just utilizing those features. And IGTV, I think, is extremely important, and not a lot of people are using it. And I can tell you that it works because I've used it, and I can see how much views I'm able to get off IGTV. If you go to my Instagram, you can actually scroll down. The last lip video that I posted on IGTV, I believe, has over 200 and something thousand views. I think like 230,000 views.
Wow.
And it's just a video that I posted on Instagram, just showing people the process of how I do a permanent makeup lip procedure. And I think that's also an important point, is to, whenever you're posting content for Instagram, it's important to not think of like what you like and what you want to post and how you want to impress your followers. I think it's more of thinking on their end, like, what is it that I can share with my audience where it's going to give them value, bring them value. And with my audience are students or clients. And so when I post the process of doing a lip procedure, I'm showing my clients, this is what you would be going through if you were coming in to get a lip procedure done. And they can see that it's, not too painful, since my clients aren't like doing this the whole time in the video. And as far as my students, it allows them to, or it gives them the opportunity to see the process and to see if it's something that, they want to learn. So I think it's just more about sharing and giving your audience what they want and what would be valuable to them. So thinking on their end is extremely important when you're creating your content.
Yeah, it's awesome to me, because like me and you have never like really spoken before this, and you're basically talking about all the things that I teach my clients, like give value, care about your clients, and then eliminate that fear and uncertainty. So like when you were talking about, you do a lip video, well, maybe someone was scared about it before, but then they see it and it's like, oh, okay, so that's what it is. That doesn't look bad at all. Absolutely.
And I love what you're doing. I mean, I've been seeing you, showing up on social media and really teaching and sharing what you do. And I think it's so awesome to have you in our industry, just really sharing your knowledge. So thank you for that, Jake.
Well, thank you for that. So let's talk about the conference, because me and you are both going to meet in person December in Vegas.
Yes.
So you said you went to the conference last year?
Yes. So I went to America the Beautiful last year in Hollywood. And it really was an amazing experience. It was actually my first permanent makeup conference. I am one of those artists who for years, I kind of just, was in my own lane, did my thing, just kind of focused on my art and what I loved. And last year I just decided, you know what, I need to get out and really meet some people in the industry and learn from more artists. I love education. I'm constantly taking classes to learn from other artists around the world. And when the ATB was announced, I was thinking, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing speakers. And I decided, my sister Kim and I, we decided to attend the conference. And it was so much fun. We got a chance to really meet some amazing artists that we truly wouldn't have met if we didn't attend the conference. So I'm extremely grateful for, just that experience, because I was able to, sit in the audience and really soaked in so much valuable information from speakers all over the world. Not only that, but one of the most important things that I feel that I got out of the conference was being able to meet and network with other artists out there. I was able to meet Will for the first time. And sometimes, Will comes off a little bit scary, intimidating online. And then I meet Will in person, and he's this awesome, he's got this big personality. He's fun. He's silly. Just super cool to see their personalities when, in person. Sometimes it's different than just seeing somebody online. And, I got a chance to see Taryn and Mary and gosh, so many amazing speakers. And then from that conference, meeting Mary Richardson, Monica Ivani, I was able to collaborate with them. We did a class together this I hosted them a couple months ago. So I wouldn't have had that opportunity to host two amazing artists if I didn't attend the conference. So that was awesome that I was able to do that from meeting them at the conference. And I never would have thought that this year I have the opportunity to actually be on the other end. So instead of sitting in the audience, I have the opportunity, and I'm so honored to have this opportunity to be on stage and to share with everyone what I do and the technique that I love and what I use to create the art that I create every day for my clients. So I'm extremely excited for that opportunity. I'm extremely excited to meet you, Jake. It's going to be a fun event, and I'm excited for that party too.
Oh yeah.
On the was it the night of the 4th? That's right.
Yeah. So
80s theme. That's like my favorite.
I saw Will's video when he was there, and it was like on a rooftop terrace, like overlooking Fremont Street and stuff. It's gonna be cool.
Yes, it looks amazing, and hopefully, if you guys are watching, be sure to get your ticket because it's going to be an awesome party. I'd love to see you there too.
Yeah, this will be my first permanent makeup conference, but I'm super pumped because, obviously I'm a marketer, so I see people online all the time. But I met Will, I met Jen Boyd, flew down to Florida, and it was so cool being able to see someone that I've seen on Facebook all the time. So to be able to do this with 100+ people is going to be awesome.
Absolutely. And you just build so many relationships, when you're there. I've got a chance to meet all these different artists who I've only met online on Instagram. And now, we're close friends. I even have a group of girls who I've been able to keep in touch with. We go out to dinner sometimes. We have our little meetups. It's just an awesome experience. And if you've never been to a conference before, being in Vegas, it's already a cool place to be, super fun. There's so much to do. And it's easy to make a trip out there if, especially if you're in the West Coast, right? And I think it's just an awesome opportunity to meet a lot of these artists. And you're going to learn a ton. You're going to learn so much from some of the best artists in the world. I know Nhung fans coming all the way from Vietnam. I'm excited to see Courtney Stevens. I mean, so many amazing artists who I've looked up to and I've been wanting to train with. And so the opportunity to meet them and to learn from them is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And I know me personally, I'm going to be hanging out the whole conference. And so like, yeah, my speech is probably going to be awesome, or I'm going to try to make it awesome. But just like being able to hang around with people and let them like pick my brain or I'll pick their brain. Like it's going to be fun to get to know everybody.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the conferences. I mean, we're all there just picking each other's brain and helping each other out. And it's a cool atmosphere. Everybody's so friendly. Everybody's there to share what they do. It's a great community. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to teach all my new clients, especially the ones that are having some success, like the power of tax deductions. And going to a conference like this is basically like a paid vacation because it's tax deductible.
That's so true. I didn't even think of that.
I'm always thinking
the plane ticket, the ticket to the conference. That's right. You got to invest in yourself too. I think that's so important. Investing in yourself and growing as an artist. I mean, I still take classes till this day. I still attend conferences. I'm constantly learning, and I think that's important because there's so much to learn every day. And to think that you know everything, you're going to miss out on a lot. So it's important to just get out there and learn and grow every day as an artist.
For Fuzion Artistry, your business, what would you say is the best thing about your training?
The best thing about my training is I really give it my all. I don't hold back when it comes to training my students. I'm hands-on with them. I think in a lot of my classes, I really give my students the one-on-one that I think is absolutely just crucial for them to learn and to grow. I think another important thing that I also give and share with my students is my ongoing support. Because you can take a class, but even after the class, there's always going to be that time when you're working on a client and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't remember this part. And I think it's so important that your trainer is available for when you do need the additional help. So I think it's important to just, for me to just be there for my students always.
Yeah.
And I always say once a student of Fuzion Artistry is always a student, because I'm there to support them. I'm there to help them through and to troubleshoot anything that they come across that, they may have not remembered from class. So I think the ongoing support, I have a Facebook group where I'm still showing up and giving them additional tips, or if I change something or update something that I'm doing, I get on there and I share that with them. And I think that's extremely important when you're, as a trainer, that's important to me. And when I'm a student looking for a trainer, that's something that I look for as well. I want to know that my trainer will be there if I have questions or if I need the additional help.
That's awesome. So as far as like your training goes, do you teach them or talk to them anything about like how to get more clients?
We do go over different ways to market, different ways to take pictures. So that is included in our training. Usually I go through that on the last day, because I think it's so important to, once you're done with a course and you learn the technique, especially if you're a new student getting into the industry, it's important to know where to go from there, right? Because you can learn the technique and be able to create some beautiful brows. But if you don't know how to show up online or show up or market your business a certain way, then you're not going to be able to share that with anyone. And no one's going to know who you are. No one's going to know that you're an amazing artist. So it is important that, we share some of that information on marketing and how to get started. I think it's also important to invest. Again, when you have a business, you have to invest in yourself. So if you don't have the time to do it, or if you don't know how to do it, you can also find help as well in hiring somebody to help you. Just like what you do, Jake, I think you have a course too, right? That's coming out.
Yeah, I've got a free course coming up. That's going to be a big launch, but I haven't made any other details for that.
Got it. But yeah, I think it's, marketing is so important in growing a business. I think it's, you have to put the time out to either learn how to market yourself, or you have to pay somebody or hire somebody to do it. And again, just for me, I always teach my students, get on and utilize those free platforms. Utilize Facebook, utilize Instagram. So any free platform that is available out there, I always say you have to get on there. You have to show up, and you have to share with the world what you do, because that's the only way people are going to know who you are.
I saw in a marketing group, someone was saying TikTok is the next big thing. So if anyone watching this has gotten a client from TikTok, comment below, because I want to see.
I signed up for TikTok recently, so I'm still kind of learning how to use it. I know they do like 15-second videos, right? A lot of it is like music stuff. So you see people getting on there and they're just like, doing all these cool dance videos and stuff like that. So I think I have like one video posted on TikTok. So I have done something on TikTok. But yeah, when there's a new platform, you do have to just start diving in and kind of testing the waters, because you never know. It could be the next big thing. And if you wait another year or two to get on it, then, you'll kick yourself, because you'll be like, why didn't I start earlier? Just like with everything else.
Yep. I wish I had started Instagram way earlier, but now it's already like, it's still good, but it's not like it used to be.
Yeah. And I always say it's never too late, because I see so many people who are having so much success on Instagram, and they're new to the industry. Some of my students are doing amazing things on Instagram. And the key is, showing up and not making it so complicated. I think just really keeping things simple in your head, like, okay, I'm going to set a goal. Like, I'm going to post every single day, just one time on my timeline, one time on stories. I'm going to use, one engagement tool that Instagram gives me. So if you just keep it really simple, I think it'll just make more sense in your mind, and you won't feel overwhelmed, because when we feel overwhelmed, we just end up not doing anything, right? That happens to me all the time. So I try to just organize things in my head, and I'm like, okay, the goal is just posting once every day and showing up and asking myself, what can I share with my audience today? And if you just do that, I think, you'll start getting your work out there.
We had a comment that wanted me to ask you, what are you going to be teaching at the conference?
So I'll be teaching my ombre powder brow technique, utilizing my trademark pigment layering technique as well. So I'm excited to share that with all of you.
Awesome. And then go back to you were talking about taking pictures. I don't know if you want to share this or not, but do you have any tips for taking pictures?
Well, absolutely. With pictures, I do feel that lighting is everything. So you want to utilize, if you have a studio that has natural lighting, that's like the best lighting, right? We're really fortunate in our studio. We have tons of windows. So it's nice and lit in our studio. If you don't have the natural lighting, then just make sure you invest in like a ring light, a makeup light, a glam core light. Those will all work, just to make sure your pictures are nice and lit, because nobody wants to look at a dark photo, right? Especially with all the millions of posts that are out there. When people are scrolling through and they see a dark photo, they're probably not going to stop and check it out. So make sure that your lighting is good. Okay, that's the first tip. Second tip is, all you have to really do is utilize a simple phone. So an iPhone works great. I know people love Samsungs. Don't overcomplicate it. You don't need like a super fancy camera to get amazing pictures, right? So just making sure that, you just have something like either an iPhone or a Samsung. If you don't want to invest in an expensive camera, you don't have to, because that's all I use is an iPhone and my pictures turn out great. If your photos come out a little bit dark and dim, there are a ton of apps out there that you can use to just brighten your photo just a little bit. Okay, you don't have to overexpose it, but just brighten it a little bit, and it's so simple. I use an app called either Snapseed or Facetune. Both of those apps have an option to brighten your photo. So you can easily do that if your photos turn out a little dark. I think also taking more pictures is sometimes is something that I do, just in case the angle changes a little bit. I think it's important to do a bunch of different angles. Sometimes I feel like I'm making my clients go through like this crazy photo shoot during our sessions. But again, if I don't get a good photo, I don't have something good to post, right? So I think it's important to invest some time into getting that photo. So I'll take different angles. I'll take some of them, the clients sitting up. I get the angles straight ahead, and then I do the side angles, and then I take some photos of them laying down. That way the before and after pictures are similar. You don't have them sitting up for the before and laying down for the after. So you want to take both. That way you have more options and more things to choose from. So I think those are a few photo tips that I have.
Yeah, that's good. So do you ever do videos?
I do. I think, again, like I talked about earlier with video, I think it's something that's really important, and Instagram tends to, or the algorithm tends to favor video. So what I try to do, and I don't do it all the time, because again, when you're working on clients, sometimes you either forget or you have another client waiting. So I understand that it is hard sometimes to take the time out to do video, or to take that time with doing your photos. But if you can schedule just a little bit more time, you can get in some videos. You can have somebody, if you have access to another person, like your receptionist or a friend, have them help you take a quick video of what you're doing, so that way you can share it on social media. Just maybe giving the process, showing the process of what you do. Otherwise, if you don't have somebody there with you, you can also do video, just maybe utilizing your phone, doing a before video, doing an after video. And then there's so many apps out there where you can just kind of link the videos together and create one video. So I would suggest doing that. At least you can post a video instead of just a photo. That way you change it up on your Instagram. Again, Instagram favors video. So the more videos you can create, the better. So definitely do videos. Super important.
So do you ever do like talking videos where you explain a procedure or something?
I don't do as many talking videos, aside from, for my Facebook groups, I do talking videos. But as far as videos for Instagram, I try to just do more like quick videos. But for IGTV, you can create longer videos, and I do plan on working more on that in the near future. Again, it's just a little bit harder to do unless you have somebody there, you know, videotaping you.
Right.
But if you don't, then at least you can do the short videos and share the process with you doing, you know, the videos yourself. Or you can use like a tripod. You can do that. Or they have nowadays with the Glamcore lights, they have the clamp where you can, you know, put it on the light. It didn't work very well for me because I change my angles sometimes. But at least you can get, you know, certain clips of the video if you do that as well. So there's always a way. You just have to be very creative.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget about two different ones. Time lapse are really cool, and then voiceovers, like just recording some clips and then voicing over like maybe what you're looking at or what you're seeing and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are great ideas too.
I know Instagram TV, it used to only be like the vertical video, but now they're doing also horizontal. So you can literally like do a video like this, like on your Facebook page that's like widescreen, and then also post it on Instagram TV. Because I know before this video, me and you were talking about repurposing content.
Yes. So this video will repurpose on YouTube and now on Instagram. So now we have, you know, 2 other platforms we can repurpose the video to. So that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Plus
it's so
podcast.
Cool that we can do that. Isn't it amazing? I mean, when I was starting out in the industry, we didn't have all this. It's just amazing how much we have now. And so we need to utilize these free platforms to be able to share what we do. It's such an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So I heard a rumor that Instagram is going to be taking away likes soon. They've already done this in some countries, and now I think they're bringing it to the United States. What do you think about that?
I heard about that. So I think Canada, right? Did you say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Canada, they took away the likes. I actually don't mind it, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be something that I'll totally miss. I think it will be kind of cool to not have it on there. So people will, when people create content, I think sometimes they're like, am I going to get likes? Like, do I do it this way because I want more likes? And if they don't see the likes, I feel like people might be able to show up more in an authentic way and just be real with their audience and not care about being so popular and not care about all the likes, but just showing up and just really being real with their viewers and being authentic, I think is important. So I think it's kind of cool. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
but I don't mind it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think the same things because I think a lot of, even I find myself, it's like, I know some posts get typically more likes than others. And so I think this way I'll be less tempted to appeal to just likes, and I'll try to do stuff that's actually like, that I just want to post, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I like with my Instagram, the posts that get the most likes, I feel, are either the transformational posts, like the before and afters, or the videos, the educational videos. So those tend to get the most likes. The ones that don't get the most likes are more of like product stuff.
Yeah.
And people, again, people don't like to be sold to. And I'm assuming that's why people don't like the product post or the, you know, any post where it's kind of salesy. People aren't drawn to that. So that's why I feel like it's important to post a variety of different things, because if you're constantly trying to sell to your audience, people are going to be turned off by it. So I think it's important to, you know, really give value. So have you heard of Gary Vee?
I watch him every day.
Oh my gosh, I love Gary Vee. So he talks about like his book, right? Like
jab, 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 right hook.
Jab, 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 right hook. And it's kind of the same thing. I feel like if you are giving value and showing up and making sure that you're sharing with your audience the things that will be helpful to them, then when it's time for you to say, hey, you know, I've got this available, I think they're going to support that. and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so gives so much. Like, I would love to buy that product from that person. So I think it's important to, because we all want to grow our businesses, but sometimes we have to put our clients first, and making sure that our clients, our students, that we're giving first and not trying to just take.
Yeah, I was actually reading an article last night about Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, and he was talking about how, I mean, obviously he's the richest guy in the world, but he was talking about how, like, his mission, and he teaches this to his company, is to always put the customer first. He said his number one goal is to delight every single customer. And by being so customer centric, he's able to really, I mean, as you see, stay ahead of the market and all that.
Yeah, that's so important. I totally agree with that.
So for a microblading artist that's sitting here thinking, like, how can I provide value? What advice would you give them?
So I think, just providing value, you mean to, like, their audience, right? Just showing up on social, or showing up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. When you're new, it's harder because you don't have a ton of clients to post. So I think it's sharing your journey. It's sharing how passionate you are about this industry that, you just got into. And I tell my students, what you can post is, you don't have to constantly be posting just before and afters of clients. Right. You can post, you working on a practice pad, sharing, what you learned in class. You can post shaping somebody's brows, the process of that, and how important it is to, go through the mapping process of the brows. You have to really be creative in, the things that you're going to post every day. Because sometimes you just sit there like, what do I post? I don't know what to post. Right. So you have to be extremely creative. And some of the things that I share with my students is, you can post the shaping videos or photos. You can post you working on a practice pad. You can post the client that you did during your training. Those are things that you can share. You can share, you can do quotes. People love quotes. You can do permanent makeup quotes or something related to that. You can share anything about the industry news. You can repost people's, work, and you can repost ways. I don't know. It's like you have to be creative. So I think those are just a few of the things that you can post, and you can share your story too. I think that's always important. Is sometimes we don't think about, what, in order for our audience and our followers to become a client, I think they have to trust us. And if we're not showing up on let's say Instagram, if your followers are on Instagram and you don't show up and your face is not ever seen, you don't ever post anything about yourself, you don't share on stories what you do, then people are not going to get to know you. And people buy from people they know and trust. And if they don't trust you, you're not going to ever get that client to come in and allow you to do their brows. So I think it's important to really, take the time to show up and to share your story. You can post about what you do. You can post about, your day, your walk with your dogs. I mean, your kids, whatever it is, because people relate to different things. So if you're just yourself and you just show up, someone out there will relate to you. You'll build that trust, and eventually they will become a client. And I think 100%. It's important to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, honestly, like, especially in a market like Huntington Beach, there's a lot of artists and stuff. Be unique and just be yourself, because if if you can get someone to relate to you, then now you're not just a commodity. You're not just another service provider. You're yourself, and
Right.
nobody can emulate that.
Absolutely. Yep. You can't fake it until you make it sometimes. That doesn't always work.
Right.
I think people want to know like who you really are. And sometimes we try to be too perfect.
Yeah.
And I think even myself, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, like I look weird, or we're so critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to sometimes get ourselves out of the way and not think about us, but think about the people on the other side, right? Think about your clients. And when I think about my clients, it's like there's women out there who take an hour to draw their brows in every morning. So how can I help them? What can I do that will help them save time in the morning? So when you're thinking about creating content, you have to think from what can you do for that client on the other side who's watching you? Like, how can you help them first? And then once they trust you, then they'll trust you with their brows.
Yeah, exactly. I see so many people like, oh, she went to someone else cheaper and then came back to me and wanted me to fix her brows. I was like, yeah, that happens sometimes. But if you'd been more educational on how to pick the right artist, then maybe they would have known not to go to that person.
Absolutely. That's why educating online is so important. And if you can give those tips to your audience, then you could save somebody from getting their eyebrows done by somebody who may not have very much experience and learned on YouTube.
Right.
And so, if you're thinking about what kind of content to create, that could be something you can do, is give your audience those tips.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you all night. So what is your, I guess, closing thoughts, or one thing you want to leave with everyone?
One thing I want to leave is just show up. You got to do the work. I think, there's all these different tips. There's so many different things. You can learn so much, but if you just sit there and learn all these different tips and not do, then it's never going to happen for you. So if anything, just take action, just do instead of just say or listen. You have to just go out there and do it. And if you do it and you show up and you do it every day, you will see the benefits later on. And you have to have patience. You can't just show up and do once or twice and expect results. You have to really be consistent. And if you can be consistent, it will happen for you. I promise. Because it happened for me. So it works. Just show up.
Awesome. Well, I definitely enjoyed this interview, and I look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Yes, likewise, Jake. Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to talk soon. Yeah,
and one last shout out. We're both going to be speaking at America the Beautiful Conference in Vegas, December 2nd to the 4th. So come see us, come hang out with us, and
yes.
Have a
We're
good
gonna
time.
Party.
Yeah, end of the year party.
Got to do the. We're gonna dance the night away. So show up so we can all party together.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I'll talk soon.
All right. Take care. Bye, everyone.